the fashion space. And next up, we have Gabrielle Richards, brand director from Trafalgar Group and Shapermint. So today, we are going to be talking about putting the plus in the fashion inclusivity conversation. Many times, I have my notes here, so don't we look cute? We're right here. Many times that I've noticed that there's a lot of talk about inclusivity when it comes to black fashion, but what's missing is the plus size part of that conversation. Bringing plus size fashion into the conversation is what we're here to do. We're here to start that conversation. So, before I get with the questions, can you guys just give a little brief, background on yourselves? Go ahead, Gabby.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here, and I have to say, you all look beautiful and stunning. I love seeing Black excellence in full force. My name is Gabrielle Richards. I've been in marketing and branding for well over 15 years, with my own personal mission being to help empower women and men feel confident within the skin that they're in. I'm so fortunate and honored to be working for a company called Shapermint, where we're able to extend that mission to a greater scale. So we sell comfortable shaping essentials ranging from a size small to 4XL. We are size inclusive, and we have the best comfortable shaping essentials here in the industry.
Well, thank you. Jasmine?
Hi, everyone. You do all look very beautiful. I'm Jasmine Elder. I'm the designer for Jabri Online. I've been designing plus size apparel from size 10 to 28 for 20 years now.
All right.
Right. I've done a collection for Amazon Drop. I have one of my most notable pieces is in the Smithsonian now of Breonna Taylor that was painted by Amy Sherrill. I do have an online boutique, Jabri Online, and I've known Marie for years. I'm so happy that she had me here today.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. You guys are looking good.
We try to be like you.
Well, I have to give a shout out. I'm rocking Lane Bryant today. You're wearing
Jabri, of course.
And you?
Tarjay.
I mean, it shows the range of what's available in plus size, right? So let's start with the conversation. So the 15% pledge states that black people make up 15% of the U.S. population. So they asked businesses to dedicate 15% of their shelf space to black-owned brands. I love missions like this, especially those that are like the Caring Back Kirby Jean Raymond Incubator, your friends in New York, which seeks to change the game for minority designers. But thinking of numbers, with 67% of women in the United States who are a size 14 plus, 67%. You would think we would have more access, right?
Yes.
You would think we would have more places to shop, right? We're 67%. So it's baffling when you go and browse to support some of these designers that there's nothing above an XL. So we're like, how do we mix these things together? So I think it's important. My question to y'all is, why do you think that is? And why is it important for them to also consider and make plus? Both of you guys can answer.
Sure. So this is a really interesting stat, Marie. Actually, for my background, I went to fashion design school to receive a master's degree at Drexel University. When I was studying fashion, the croquis that we would have to design, right? So you do an illustration first. After you do your illustration, you have to design it on a dress form. What I realized is that the croquis that we're starting with are straight size. When I would add hips, because I am curvy, I've always been curvy. When I would add hips or more body, I was told that I needed to reduce that, right? When I was designing physically on the dress forms, I had to use a size 6 or 8, which is what is industry standard in designing, right? So from the very beginning of the process, it doesn't really open itself up to be size inclusive, right? And this was back in 2007. I will say now we've seen a lot of change within the industry, but a lot of businesses don't believe that it is profitable to cater to those sizes for some odd reason, even though 67% of society is wearing over size 14. So there's so much more work to be done, but the way that we can do this is to put our money where our mouths are, right? So if you are shopping brands only that carry extended sizes, right, then that can show to them that there is money in, catering to all.
Jasmine?
I absolutely agree with Gabrielle that you do have to put your money where your mouth is. So I was not formally educated in fashion. I've been designing my own clothes by hand since I was about 7 years old. So what I would say, I didn't have those problems. I designed for me, I designed for you. And I think one of the main things is that you definitely need to look for brands that are for your body. So instead of asking designers that have chosen not to create for your body, shop with the brands that do. And then those brands will be in those spaces because they are definitely going to need the capital to get in those spaces. That you don't see the numbers until you see those brands evolving. So that would be my thoughts.
Brilliant. So we've got perspectives from both ends. So Jasmine, I'm going to come back to you. As a Black plus-size indie designer, have you had the opportunity to sit at those DEI tables for those conversations? And if so, was there any pushback, including plus and or why? And did you ever feel othered in these spaces? And if you hadn't had a seat at the table, why do you think that is, and what can be done to change it? And do you want a seat at that table?
I definitely think that you've seen more imagery of Black people as well as plus-size people since like 2020. The imagery is there, but the inclusion in the rooms to make those decisions are not there. A lot of it is because a lot of small Black businesses are not educated on how to get into those rooms. It doesn't mean that we're not educated, it's just that we're starting very small and you're not gonna be in the top room at that time. So the same rooms that decided to not put you on a Cheerios commercial or whatever are the same rooms now that decided that only thin people are the people that should have access to clothing. So we're gonna have to, again, it goes kind of back to the same question. I would love to be a part of those decisions, but they would have to look for me or even think that people like you exist.
So it's kind of like chicken egg, which comes first?
Exactly.
Like they have to know that we exist, even though that's like a big stat, 67%. I'm gonna drill that. Like that's one thing y'all gonna leave here with today. That's 67%, and then be like, okay, so why aren't you catering to me? Because there's 67% of us that are size 14 and higher, and we need to be featured. We need to be included. We need to have access because clothing is almost out after food and shelter. It's a necessity.
Right. And
go ahead.
One more thing. And I was gonna say one more thing. I definitely get a lot of opportunities when it's artistic. So when someone is looking for something for a magazine, for a television show, for a movie, I'm always there. But when it's an opportunity for a brand to develop with a plus-size designer, they're not necessarily looking to put us where the money actually is. So,
that's what I'm working with the Cultivate Awards, right?
Absolutely.
I started a program to help support indie designers of color and to give them the cash, the mentorship, right? And then the exposure through the capsule collection.
Absolutely.
To be able to give that. So that's really important. So Gabrielle, let's talk on the business side of designing for the plus customer. As a size-inclusive brand catering to all sizes, you know the manufacturing, design, and marketing challenges that are often highlighted as reasons not to do plus. They love to give us every excuse in the book why they don't do plus. But we know there are brands that have mastered this process. I mean, Lane Bryant's been around since 1904, and they figured it out. You are newer. Can you discuss how you managed to overcome these challenges? And if you can share, what percentage of plus sizes make up your business?
Sure, and this is a fantastic question. So as you guys know, I am in the business side. I'm a brand director at Shapermint, which is part of the Triphilia group, and we lead by data. And the data tells us that it is big business to invest, right, in all sizes because our customers, 80% are moms, and we know women, whether you're a mom or not, or a mother figure, your body changes through life, right? Whether it's hormonal, whether situational, right? We just all lived through a pandemic, and I don't know about you all, but I grew a few sizes during the pandemic, right? And so with that said, my closet assortment needs to grow as well, right? So to dial it back, at Shapermint, about 47% of our customers are plus size, okay? Meaning that they're purchasing sizes between extra large to 4XL. We sell intimate apparel, so it's bras, camis, shapewear, leggings. And so for us, it's incredibly important to design from the very beginning items that will fit, shape, support, and enhance them, okay? We would be doing everyone a disservice if from the design standpoint, we did not have them in mind. Now, when brands say, okay, it's too expensive for us to grade the sizes a few sizes larger because of fabric, I say that's bull.
Right.
Okay?
Right. I mean, especially if you plan from it from the beginning, you then, because they're not changing the difference from an extra small to a large, right? Like, there's still grading that needs to happen. There's still opportunity.
But not only that, they have the money, right? So for example, when I go to the mall, because I love shopping in the mall, I love looking at the storefronts, seeing all the things that they change out. And when I go to the racks, sizes 10 and up aren't there. Why? Because they're being purchased. Because we're all sizes 10 and up, like the majority, right? And so there's opportunity for these brands to scale if they offer those sizes from the very beginning. And especially, too, if they look at the data in terms of regionally, right? Certain markets have more sizes. For example, I'm in Atlanta, and I know we got a lot of our curvy girls out there, but for some reason, you don't see those sizes represented in the stores. So at some point, the math is not adding up.
There we go. There we go. And, you know, you just said so many things and my mind is racing, but I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna bring it back real quick for both of y'all. What do you think the next step is to make this happen? Like to bring more options for us, for plus size people. Like, Black designers are already working with limited financial backing, exposure, and support. Are we asking too much for them to also think about the plus consumer in addition to everything else that they're already up against? Or how can the industry both support and hold them accountable to servicing all the customers? Or is this an opportunity where if they leaned into plus, this would give them more resources?
Yeah.
Like more money to play with, right? Like more, like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I will start with this side because I am coming from the business side, and I would say someone like myself who has a seat at the table, it is my responsibility to make sure I find someone like Jabari, right? That I advocate for those who are not being represented. Even as a woman of color, it is my responsibility to make awareness to other young designers, young women of color, letting them know that whether you could be a designer or you could be on the marketing side, there's opportunity for you. Because 9 out of 10 times, they don't know that that's an opportunity, right? On the second, it's innovation with design. So as I'm looking at her beautiful ensemble, from the construction, you could tell that this could fit many women in different sizes, right? And this is just one piece of fabric. So if you are innovative from the very beginning, that helps to save costs. So you just need to think outside of the box and change the way you're thinking as a designer.
So she spoke from the business side. I'll speak from the artistic side. I didn't come into the industry looking to capitalize on plus size women. I was already plus size. I've been plus, I guess, my entire life. So I don't think that we can expect designers that have a different interest to design for plus. You have to find designers that actually like to design for plus. Because if I was asked to make a dress for Halle Berry tomorrow, I don't know that I'd be able to do it as quickly as I can make a dress for you. Because I know the ebbs and the flows. I know how the body is shaped for that. So I think that's one thing that we keep doing is trying to make businesses that are not interested instead of finding people that are talented within that industry in the first place.
That's a good point. So what about the ones that are curious, the brands who have dipped their toe, who have, what about those brands?
Hire a designer.
Hire you?
Yeah, don't copy a designer, hire a designer.
Right. I think it's really about reshaping the perception, because oftentimes folks think that plus size people are like just one, kind of like a monolith.
Right.
Like they're just one color, one person. They don't realize the layers and the opportunities. Here I am, a publisher, a designer, a marketing expert, and we have multitudes.
And we all have different styles. Like you're wearing something floral and boho. You're wearing a more tribal print. I'm wearing something that's brighter and more attention grabbing in certain aspects.
Right.
We never had a chance to develop any of those niche within a niche of plus. You don't have anyone that's designing for girls who like florals, or I mean, they put everything in one batch, and that's not the way that an artist's mind works. And you're not going to be able to have an innovative, full brand throughout. Not one brand can't do all of it. I can't make
Right.
Italian food and Chinese food and
Right.
burgers.
Right. I think it kind of comes down to some of the misperceptions, myths, and assumptions that people make around plus size people that can prohibit the design element, because they're like, oh well,
Right.
we're waiting to lose weight, or we want to hide. I mean, look at us. None of us are like cowering or hiding. We've got like bold prints, arms out,
We all here.
Right.
cleavage. We got off the shoulder. I mean, the plus consumer is a different person than they were 20 years ago. And it's important that brands, the community, the industry understands that. If you have like a frustrating kind of, especially as you've probably worked and sat at certain tables to present your clothing, what are some of the frustrations, I guess, or frustrations that brands have been surprised with you, or they've asked of you to do?
Well, again, I haven't been at those tables. When I'm called, I do the job, and I always achieve the job, but I don't get the opportunities to go into a brand that has the money or the mentorship to do it. So like, yes, of course, buy the clothes, but if someone was to give me a check today, I still need the mentorship to know how to run the brand the same way that a brand that capitalizes on, a smaller client would do. So no one ever turns it away. Like she's saying about people talking about fabric, using more fabric and all that kind of stuff. That's not an issue for any other designer. So
Right.
You have designers that I saw some stuff on Instagram where a dress took 500 hours to make and all this kind of stuff that was not plus size, of course. So if you support that, you can support an artist creating for this brand as well.
Definitely. And what have you guys like unearthed any kind of surprising kind of, because I know like especially with shaperment, like shapewear is like very polarizing, and most of the people think, and it's also something kind of generational like as well. And so like, what are some of those like surprising moments that you kind of were like, oh, I didn't expect this from the plus size consumer?
Sure. So one thing's for certain is that what we try to do at Shaperman is be for everyone. And when it comes to finding intimate apparel like bras, sometimes you can't be for everyone, right? Because with bras in particular, size range, right? It's
Shape.
right. It's very difficult. So what we try to do is make the shopping experience a little bit easier for our consumers. So what we've done is basically take what normally would have been 20 sizes in bras and reduced it to 7 sizes in letter sizing, right? And constantly call and learn from our consumer base, where we ask them, we have a huge research team, we ask our customers, how is this fit? Give us critical feedback, right? We want to know so that we could constantly improve and iterate. For example, we had one bra that our customers loved, and the feedback was, we want adjustable straps. So we're like,
Oh my God, is that the one that I'm wearing right now?
Yes. And we're like, wait, why didn't we think to put adjustable
Yes.
straps on this bra? So we did that, and it's a hit. The customers love it. But then we still have customers that love the bra that didn't have the adjustable straps. So there's not one size that fits all in terms of having that perfect fit, but what I can say is that we can learn and grow and adapt, right? And we, oftentimes people say, okay, shapewear is not something that you could wear every day because it's uncomfortable. Well, we love to say that our shapewear is not just occasion-based. This is something you can wear every single day because as a woman, our bodies change and you want support, right? In some of those areas. And some days you may look in the mirror and not feel excited about your body. And that's okay. To give you guys context, I'm a licensed body confidence coach, so you're gonna hear me talking a lot about confidence. So we're here for those days where you don't feel that great, you need a little extra support, a little more comfort to feel boosted, right? And give you that silhouette to make you wanna wear, a silhouette that you wouldn't have normally picked out because you thought that your body was too big or you have jiggly arms or whatever that may be, right? I'm a woman, my body changes, and some days I don't feel great. but I want to shop with brands that acknowledge that from a educational standpoint and from a functional standpoint in terms of giving me garments that fit well.
Well, thank you. So do me a favor. If you could have like just one, like, if you could say one thing about bringing more awareness of plus sizes in the fashion inclusive conversation, what would you want to say and to whom?
I would want to tackle the younger students, like in elementary school, right? Because that's where you start to establish your self-esteem, your confidence. And I would tackle too media, okay? Because when these young people, and I grew up in New York, so when I was going to school, I would walk past, you know, the stands where they're selling the coffee, you see the magazines, and I would see the cover of the magazines, and I didn't see myself in those magazines, right? I would say we have to start with media showing younger people different bodies, plus size, straight size, mid-size, different ethnicities, right? Different hair types, so they know that there's not one standard of beauty, so that they can live a more confident life and know that they can wear whatever they deem fit, because it's all about how they feel on the inside.
Okay. Jasmine?
I agree with that, but just a little different. I'm not the kid that didn't see myself. I didn't care about seeing. I saw the fabrics and the colors and all those things, and I wanted to explore. So I just would have liked to for someone to give those kids a chance. Not necessarily, you know, yes, of course you want to target to the consumer and let everybody know that they're beautiful and all that stuff, but you're not going to have people that want to create if you never give them the platform to create. And I don't know that I would have been able to design the things that I have if I had been formally educated in fashion, because I would have hit a roadblock where they didn't have anything for me to design on. They didn't have any patterns. They didn't have any of this. They didn't have any of that. But I made all that myself, and now I've gotten as far as I can get, I think. I mean, I'm still striving, but I would love the opportunity to be mentored to go beyond that, the things that I couldn't learn on my own. So that's what I would like.
Well, beautiful. And I think that kind of ends it. I think we're at 30 seconds left. But again, I'm Marie Dene. I'm the creator and founder of the digital media platform, The Curvy Fashionista. We bring you the designers, the retailers, the people who are doing things in the community. We're constantly giving you information. We're turning 16 in December. You guys can find us on social at thecurvyfashionista.com. on Instagram and all the other places at The Curvy Fashionista. You want to go ahead and leave your socials?
Well, before I do that, Marie, we need to give you your flowers, because you started a media platform celebrating all sizes, right? The Curvy Fashionista. And one thing about Marie is that she's going to identify designers, marketers, people that need to be uplifted. And she's been doing this for well over 20 years. So I want to say thank you for bringing us both on this platform and on this stage. But go ahead and follow me at Gab Positive and at Shapermint.
Absolutely. Jabri online, and that's Jibri online, and I'm on all platforms of that. And thank you again to Marie. She's absolutely right. She's the best person to follow if you're looking for anything plus related. She knows where it is.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.